Ready for the release of his 2022 budget proposal, Democrats are calling for a more people-centered agenda.
A coalition of House members put out that call this morning in hopes that Governor Ron DeSantis will fund their priorities. Capitol reporter Forrest Saunders takes a look.
We are still waiting for that full budget list to drop. It is expected to happen sometime this week. In the meantime, Democrats say they need funding to support, quote, real people who are suffering. When Kadra Bonamy caught COVID, it was a fight for her life.
I had multiple blood clots, so my lungs was on the verge of collapsing.
She's better now and back to work, but struggling to afford the health care that saved her life. The Florida CNA says she isn't alone. Many in her industry stress over bills, with average wages around $12 an hour.
It creates turnovers and staffing shortages that are bad for everyone.
She joined House Democrats Tuesday, calling on the governor to advance a more people-centered budget.
The budget tends to lean in favor of the biggest of corporations, political donors, and not so much the best interests of everyday people.
The group urging DeSantis cut down on corporate tax breaks, boost wages for all ed faculty and staff, bolster affordable housing, and address the cost of health care.
Looking at the numbers, taking all politics out of it, at the end of the day, we're going to be much better for their prosperity.
The push coming just before DeSantis offers his full budget proposal this week. So far, the Republican wants higher per student funding, better starting teacher pay, money for water and resiliency projects, military upgrades, a gas tax cut, and more.
We're probably going to have higher budget reserves than we've ever had in the history of the state of Florida.
DeSantis touting his plans in Tampa as a budget for all and less than half the size of New York's, despite similar populations.
We are doing things that matter, that are helping Floridians across the board, and we're being very aggressive on that.
Lawmakers will get their say when session begins in January. And with the GOP in charge, it's a safe bet much of the governor's plans will get a green light. And the governor's press secretary has also fired back at Democrats. In a statement, she said DeSantis is very people-centered and touted his pushback on COVID mandates. Quote, protecting individual rights is the most people-centered thing a state governor can possibly do. That's the latest out here at the Capitol. I'm Forrest Saunders reporting.